Hi, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me here tonight. We are continuing on the embroidery of the month, our fun little Fuzzles block here, Fuzzles embroidery. So this is all done with the couching technique, so we're going to go over that again today. So thanks for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together and just hang out. So thanks for joining me here. Again, we are working on the embroidery of the month. This is February's embroidery of the month. We got the Fuzzles version, and then we also have the Scrappy version. Fuzzles are all those little strings that get stuck on your sleeves and just get piled around. That's kind of our word for them here at Penguin and Fish, is little fuzzles. So we did an embroidery of it. So all right, we will get going on this. Thanks again for joining me. All right. Hello everyone. I see you coming on in. Nice to see you all. All right, I do have my pattern here again. Let's zoom way down here. Get right in here again tonight. All right. Here's how far we got last night. We couched 3 little elements down. We're going to try a little different way of doing it tonight too. It was suggested last night, like making a little knot and coming up, and then you'd have like a clean end instead of a raw edge end. So I thought we'd maybe give that a try. We can always change it later if we want it to be the same. But here we go. I got my PDF pattern up here. So this is the original pattern. This comes with a bundle, and it also comes separately as a PDF if you want it just the PDF. So I'm just having this nearby. I like having it on the iPad nearby right here, and it'll show me what colors to use and what stitches to use. All right, so I thought, why not trim these up tonight? So I left a large tail end on all of these, and the reason for that is in case I accidentally like pulled them through or pulled on something, then if my thread started coming out, I'd have like a little runway. But I'm going to just go ahead and snip those. You could wait all the way till the end, but just for funsies, I want to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to trim all these down first, and then we'll start this squiggle here. And I'm going to do that in the way where I actually come up from the bottom. Come up from underneath here. So it'll have a clean finished edge compared to these, which will have a raw finished edge. So you guys can, you can choose kind of what you want to do. Oh, So Nut says that fuzzles have also been found on our dog. Yep, the dogs seem like they'd be a good collector of fuzzles. All right, so look how clean that looks already, though, just from me snipping that. It just looks really kind of nice, snipping these little guys off. So I'm just grabbing my scissors here and just trimming them. That's all there is to that. So now we got some fuzzles sitting here. Let's get this little guy and the gray. One and 2. There. Wow, that really, really cleaned this up quickly. So look at how nice it looks now. I think that's cool. So it does have the raw edge still, so that's an exposed end. But that's okay. I think that looks kind of fun. I think it kind of actually plays with the idea of couching a lot, because you can see the whole piece here, which is kind of neat. I do want to see what it looks like, though, when we don't have those ends, when it's a clean finish. So that's what I want to try here. So let's give that a go. That's the blue. So I'm going to need blue. I'm also going to need more of this orange. I'm couching everything using the orange. So the orange is like the only color that we're using for stitching, actually. So the fuzzles will be written in the orange. It's the Euro Peach color. And every stitch is actually orange. There's nothing that's not orange. All the other colors are just the threads that we are couching down. So those are the threads that we're securing down with our couching stitches. But the actual stitching is all done in one color for this project, which is, I think, just kind of fun. Let's get some of this blue. This is that Winter Morning blue, a really pretty pale blue. All right, so I want a piece that's, you know, as long as this, so I'm just going to kind of generally kind of drape it sort of like how it's going to go there. That looks like plenty. I want more than I need just in case I mess it up. So, or if I underestimate it. So I think this will be enough. Oh, Mary says that this is her first embroidery project. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, you've been always so intimidated by anything hand sewing related, but after a couple cross-stitch projects, I decided to jump in. That's awesome. Mary, that is exactly how I started too. I started with some cross-stitch projects, and that led into a whole world of crafting for sure. And I actually I would love to do, it's been requested here before, but I'd love to do a cross-stitch project at some point here. And I think we can do it in a really fun way where we actually use embroidery supplies yet and don't use the aid of fabric. I have a little idea for that. So if there's some character or some design you would love to see as a cross stitch, let me know, because I have an idea for how to do it, but I don't have an idea for the design yet. All right, I'm going to grab my one strand of floss here from this bit of the orange that we've been using. Oh, I think I might actually broke it a little there at the end. Oh no, it just came out with a funny little popping noise. That was weird. So I'm using, this is twice as long as I would normally make my thread, so it's about 48 inches. But what I'm doing, I'm ultimately stitching with 2 strands, but what I'm doing is taking one strand that's twice as long and then doubling it up. And I'm doing this so I can use the loop method of starting. And that's, I'll show you that, but here's like the end, the folded end is our loop. That's what I'll use. So, okay, we got this part ready. I'm gonna just throw some thread gloss on there. This is totally, I mean, you don't need to do the thread gloss at all, but it smells good. And it does kind of hold the threads together a little bit, makes it a little stronger. It's basically coating it with, I don't know, some wax and oil a little bit. You can kind of see it's being held together a little bit better. It protects the thread. I think it just smells well. This is again from Wisecraft Handmade. The whole address is wisecrafthandmade.com. In the thread conditioner section. This is the Earl Grey. I think the Rainfall is my favorite color, favorite smell though with them. Okay, so here's the different thing that we're doing this time. Oh, Amy's requesting the pincushion. A pincushion cross stitch, that could be cool. I'm going to have to do research on pincushions because I have not done a pincushion before. I do like the idea of those. I like those like getting like vintage teacups though and like a pincushion in there. That'd be kind of neat. All right, so I'm going to do a little extra step here. And this is, instead of leaving the edge raw, where I could just leave an end here and then just start stitching. I'm going to try this where I actually bring this thread up from the bottom and then it'll have like a clean edge. So I think all I'm going to do is just tie a knot on one end. I think that'll work, right? I think so. You could always weave an end maybe, but I'm just going to tie a knot for now. And I'm going to thread the whole 6 strands here, which might be a little difficult with my particular embroidery needle I have here. Oh, there we go. We got it. And I'm going to just come up at the starting point here. I haven't tried this before, but it makes sense in my head. All right. Ooh, but 6 strands, that's tough to pull through the fabric. All right, so now I'm going to unthread this. But what we basically have going on here now is a clean end. So I'm going to start couching now, but you can see that this end is tucked in. And really, I could always cut that off when I, like later if I feel like it, if I still want the raw edge, I can just cut that and it'll be a raw edge again. But it's kind of fun. We're going to see what it looks like with a clean edge. Oh, chicken scratch, that would be a fun project to do yet. All right, I need my needle again. I'm just gonna have my needle minder off to the side here. Okay, so I'm threading for the loop method. Remember, this is my one strand that I folded in half, so I have 2 strands. I'm gonna have the folded edge down here, right there, and then this is the side with the two ends there. So I'm gonna thread that side. And again, I'm using the pinch method of threading, so if you can see the little orange, I'm pinching it and then unpinching it, so I have like that rocking motion with my fingers. I'm going to go slowly, and the moment I see a tiny, tiny bit of orange there, a tiny bit of thread, I'm going to place my needle on top, and you can kind of wiggle it down your fingers a little bit, and it should be catching that thread, and the thread should be going through. And then when you have enough there, you can grab it and pull it on through. That's method has just worked the best for me still. All right, so we are going to start with our little couching stitch here. So what I'm going to do is basically start on one side of my line on the fabric, and I'm going to move my blue thread towards it. I'm not going to pull it all the way through yet, because remember, we just have we're starting here. I don't have a knot here or anything. But I'm going to make this stitch. So I'm going to go just to the other side of that line, just so there's a few of those fabric threads in the middle. And we're going perpendicular to the line. So wherever the line happens to be, we're going to go perpendicular to it. So if my finger's the direction, we're going to be going with it the whole time. So right here, this is the direction of the line. I'm going to go directly across it. And that's why my stitches all kind of rotate with the line a little bit. So right on the other side of that line, and I'm going to pull that through. There's kind of our couching stitch there, but remember, I don't have anything tied down here yet, so I'm going to pull until I get close to that loop. So here's that beginning loop. I'm going to just put my needle in that loop. I mean, this was that fold of the thread. We're going to go right through there and then pull it tight. And that's what's clamping down the thread there. That's all it is. We're good to go. We can start. No knots, no nothing. All right, so that's that. We can just keep moving. So I'm going to come up on one side of that line and move that couching thread towards it. Come up, and then I'm going to go just on the other side of that line, and I feel like I maybe caught something here. Yep, this is why I don't like knots on the back. I catch all those little threads. All right, and I'm going to do more stitches on the curves just to get that nice curvy line, and then when I go on these like kind of straighter lines there, I can do the stitches a little further apart. The more stitches you put in on the curves, the more of that curve feel you're going to get, versus just like, a jagged curve like that. So you're kind of tricking the eye, because it's really like a straight line in between the 2 points. But if you put enough there, the eye will see it as a curve. So I'm keeping on rotating my stitches a little bit so they're perpendicular to the stitch. Ooh, Colleen says a cross-stitch penguin and fish. That would be cute. Yeah, I'd love to do a little sort of cross-stitch. Cross-stitch is part of the embroidery family, that's for sure. And it's fun. And I haven't done it in a while, and that's how I started this whole thing. Was my whole world of crafting was I started with cross stitch, so I would love to kind of visit that again sometime. All right, so now I'm doing kind of bigger stitches, because this is just like a big long straightaway. I can just get on that side. I can do some bigger stitches here. because I don't have to worry about making a curve. You could do them all like equidistant if you wanted. I think that'd look really pretty actually, but we're doing it this way. This is looking pretty though. It doesn't really matter. I can't see why it would matter, at least, which side of the line you come up on. I just pick the one that seems easiest. Like if the thread is laying over here, I'll start the stitch on the other side, and then I can move it towards it. And you can pull on it a little bit if it's a little bloopy, especially with this method where we've put the knot in the end there. It won't pull out. All right, so we're getting on a curve again, so my stitches are probably gonna get a bit closer together. I just remembered at some point we're gonna have to stitch this fuzzle text. I think I mentioned that yesterday. in my head that part's done already, but it's not. So that's why, I'm just tugging on it just gently, just a hair to kind of, it was looking a little bloopy, so I just kind of gave it a little pull. That's why I had excess on these other ones, because if I wanted to pull it a little bit, I wouldn't pull the whole thing out. So we're just going to scooch around all these curves. There's actually quite a bit of surface area, stitch area to cover in this piece. Oh, bloopy. Someone added to the dictionary. Did I say bloopy? I suppose I did. It's been so fun. So there's the post right now. If you guys are in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook, there's that post right now of like, I don't know, I guess all the goofy things I say on here. The Penguin and Fish vocabulary list. We got going on the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, because that's where this Fuzzles came from. So, yep, bloopy. That should probably be added to the list. I thought I laughed out loud today. I forget who put it down, but someone put zoop on there. It's funny because sometimes I don't. When I see it written down, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I say that a lot. I know Crazy Town got put on there too. That was good. Oh, Sonut says on YouTube, Needlepoint is another craft that has really evolved. It's not just half stitches anymore. There are many different stitches and so many designs and designers. Yeah, you know what? This is crazy. I suppose this is correct, though. I don't think I've ever done a needlepoint, which seems bizarro world to me. I must have done something. That seems like so close to all this other stuff that I'm doing that I must have done something like that at some point, but I don't think I have. Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, that's really popular again, needlepoint. And, it's used to make bags and all this other stuff. People are doing some really creative things with needlepoint right now. And yes, there are new designers designing needlepoint. Ooh, I thought so. Felt like I got a little bloop in here. All right, so this is how I get rid of, this is a really common knot in embroidery. What's basically happening is your thread is just looping around itself and you're pulling it tight. I am sure you have seen one of these knots before if you are an embroiderer, so, or a cross-stitcher, really. What I find is the easiest way to get rid of these is you put the needle in the loop and you pull up. And you might just have to pull one side or the other. One side will pull that knot all the way up to the needle, so now you can see that loop is right all the way to the needle there. And at that point I can just take it out and then I put the needle in the big part and just give it a little pull and it should pop all the way out. So that is the best way I've figured out how to get rid of those knots. Oh, yes, please do. so now I can post a few of the needlepoint projects in the crafters groups. That'd be perfect. I'd love to see. Oh, funny. Amy says I should do one of those t-shirts that has a list of words on down the front. Oh my god, I totally want to. Like Fuzzles, Kitty Scratch, Zoop. Okay, I need to do that. So that reminds me, like, I wanted to do a little, like, Penguin and Fish merch section on the shop. That would be great in there. That's hilarious. Yeah, one of those, like, black shirts with the big white type going down it. That's funny. Okay, totally am going to do that. That's funny. All right. Again, I'm making kind of these longer stitches because I'm on that straightaway. I was just thinking, I have enough thread left, and I have tons. I have plenty to go around that last loop. I would overcut, though, because that would be a huge bummer to get to close to the end of one of these swirls and then not to have enough of the couched thread. This is looking actually really pretty, though, the couching like without the raw edge, like having that first stitch coming up from the back. So remember we tied that knot and brought that couch thread up. I think that's pretty. So when we get to the end here, I'll have to thread this side of the needle and then pull that underneath too. So that's kind of fun. Maybe we'll just do it for this one blue one in the middle, because it's kind of like the centerpiece, and then all these other pieces that frame it can be like the same as these ones maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. But it is looking really nice and clean with it tucked in like that. Oh, Betty Nubbins! For sure, that's got to go on the list. I am not sure that's on the list yet. Sheesh. Man, that one feels like an obvious one. That one feels like something I say a lot. They all feel like that, but that one has a familiar feel in my brain. Funny. Nubbins. What do I say that for? I'm trying to picture the use case of the nubbins. Oh, Catherine says, I think the knot would be good if you wash this piece. That's true. So if you wanted to do couching in something that you would wash, that's a good point. This might be a little more secure, having it go down to the back and tying it as a knot. I suspect this would probably last pretty well too. Just the raw edge, just because we're holding it down with so many stitches. Oh, I thought I lost some thread there, but you're right. I think this would be a bit more secure if you're planning on washing this. Whoa, what's going on there? Got a little tangled up on myself. Linda says, is it totally OCD to want all the stitches evenly spaced? I think that would look so beautiful. If anyone's doing the stitches evenly spaced, post it in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook. I'd love to see. I think it would look great. I think it'd look really, really pretty and slick, especially in a different color like what we're doing here, where the stitches are a different color than the background, or than the couched piece. I bet you that'd look pretty sharp with all the same length of stitches. I might run out of orange before I finish this. It happens, I guess. Oh, you guys, I gotta do a little free motion quilting. Oh, I didn't even take a picture. I should have done that. I got to do a hair of free motion quilting when I was visiting my parents my cousin's having a baby and my mom's making a little baby quilt. And she's doing Quilt As You Go, and I got to be one of the guest quilters on the quilt. So I got to quilt one of the squares when we were visiting them. So I got a little bit of the free motion quilting bug in my head again. I don't know what brought that up. Maybe I think just this motion kind of reminded me of free motion quilting. But now I want to do the free motion quilting again. We have so many quilts that are just sitting, waiting for that step. We have I don't know. So if you say, if by so many you mean 2, that's a lot of quilts still that need free motion quilting. And they're already sandwiched. So I have the I Love Home quilt that we did ages ago, and the Triangle Tango quilt that we did ages ago, all pinned with the back ready and the batting ready. Literally just needs to get up on the table and be quilted. So I don't know, I'm kind of feeling that. In some of our free weeks, we might have to do some of that. I actually have to draw the design still that I want to do for it, but we'll get there. The bug. I got the bug though again. All right. Oh, Amy just went to add bloopy, yes, that too, bloopy and nubbins to our vocab list. That's funny. Still like zoop. I like how zoop was spelled. I think that's what made me laugh too. It made me laugh today, just like the recognition of that I say that word was just made me laugh, and the spelling was like ZHOOOPP, and I'm like, that feels accurate. I liked that spelling a lot of zoop. Clee says, loving the look of this. Yeah, I think this just looks kind of like a party. When I got done making this, I was thinking it looks like this should be like a fun, playful champagne. How about Fuzzle Prosecco? How about that? That sounds good. This just looks like a crafty wine bottle. Champagne bottle. I think I'm going to just have like literally just enough thread here of the orange, so we got lucky there. Oh, and I want to do that thing where I bring the tail of this blue underneath again. So I think we'll finish up the orange first and tuck in those ends, and then I'll go back to this blue. Like I won't just like put it in now. I'll wait till my orange is completely done. I think it can hang out there for that. Do I want just one here? It's a pretty tight curve. I'm going to put, I don't know. I guess I'm just going to put one more in. Debating between 1 and 2 stitches to end it, but just the one. All right, I think I have just enough thread that I can do this little X too. I could actually probably get started on the next one, but we're close enough. So this little kind of a little cross stitch here. Okay, so I'm gonna just weave in that end, just through the backs of some of these stitches. I'm gonna go back and forth 3 times to lock it in. I'm gonna try and grab as many threads as I can along the way. Oh, Jane says this couching is very pretty. I am totally loving this technique. We talked about gold work yesterday. Gold work is a lot of times uses couching, and I have some of that pretty wire yet, like kind of that gold colored wire when we're done with this, I think we'll have like a day left or so maybe this week to play around. I'd love to get some of that wire out and try couching that down. See if we can come up with something with that. All right, I'm going to now thread this end, and I'm going to pull it down through. Remember, yesterday we had all the raw edges. Today, I tucked in those edges by tying a knot first and coming up. So I do have to go this extra step of threading this needle. Joe's asking, do I have any idea what I'll be doing the last week of this month? So next week is free week. This year we're having a free week on the last week of the month instead of the Aurifil. And you know what? I thought I had a plan for that, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. So I'm gonna have to ask Jenna again if we talked about it. But I totally am not thinking past today right now, so I don't remember. Ooh, couch down the gold with the silver. Jane, that's a great idea. Ooh, yes, I want to play with the colors, the sparkly stuff. All right, so I pulled that down to the back. We got those nice clean ends now versus the raw ends. So just a different look. Looks pretty though still. And I think I'll just weave in those ends as well. Last time, I mean, we still are not done with the Aurifil block of the month. We're working on the front. We were doing all of those blocks. I think I can, oh gosh, this is getting twisty here. I think I have them near me. Let me see. Oh yeah, we were making all these cornerstones, all different like basic blocks. I wrote down, I researched and used your all of your suggestions in the Penguin Fish Crafters group for some very common blocks, like, you know, a 4-patch, you know, here's a rail fence, a log cabin block. I wanted to go through this list. I've never made a lot of these blocks, and these are like basic building blocks for larger blocks oftentimes. So I wanted to go and make, here's just a half square triangle. This one is the square in a square, and this one is the economy block. These two look very similar, but there's one extra little square in there. We could do this maybe next week again. Try and get through a few more of these blocks. So these will be in our, I'm making this out of the Aurifil block of the month colors and the scraps. Maybe we'll do that. I think that's what we did last month. But we could do something else too. Let me know if you have any suggestions. I do have a plan for March, I think. We're going to do something fun there that we'll announce a little earlier in the month in March. But I don't remember if I had a plan or not for next week. Okay, that actually is looking pretty clean and nice like that. I'm trying to figure out the balance of raw to not raw edges in this. Like, I kind of like that this blue one is all nice and clean, but we've already done some raw edge ones, so I'm wondering if we do these. Maybe we do everything that's gray and yellow with the raw hanging out edge, and then the blue, which is also this pretty large squiggle up here. Maybe those ones we do with the clean edge. I don't know. For no other reason than it looks like maybe we had a reason for it. Like the colors are the same. I don't know. All right, let's just kind of keep going around here. I suppose we could jump around too. We could do the other blue one now, really. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's just stick to the blue. I'll do another one where I come up from underneath and we leave the edge. Amy says, I think focusing on finishing the Aurifil is a good idea. Or do some free motion quilting, fuel the fire while it's burning. The one thing about the free motion quilting is, and it's just so silly because I have all the stuff in my very immediate area here, but there's something about having to get all the stuff out. Even though it's literally the sewing machine behind me and my my extension table is just hanging up on the wall, like it would take me like 8 minutes to set up, but that 8 minutes is like enough for me to not want to do it. And actually, you know what, now that I think of it, I do have an extra step to do yet. I wanted to draw out a quilt design pattern for the Scrappy, or not the Scrappy, the Triangle Tango. So there is a separate step. But for the I Love Home quilt, I wanted to do like some pretty border things, like, you know, because there's a lot of borders, so like a decorative border with like something on the inside. I know there's a lot of quilting related things like that, and I've not done that before. So I thought maybe that'd be fun. So maybe that needs a little bit of research yet too. So all right, I think it might be the Aurifil quilt again. I would like to do some embroidery stuff. So actually, a cross stitch would be a really fun idea for one of those free weeks. So maybe we'll do up a cross stitch for that. We'll see. Come on, guy. There we go. So that's one of the reasons, like what just happened here, why I don't especially like stitching, like embroidering with 6 strands of floss. I know a lot of people start that way because they just don't know the idea of splitting the floss. I do try and share that in my instructions and stuff, but stitching with all 6 strands, that's thick. Like this is a thick line here, so it gets a little bit more difficult to pull through the fabric, especially at the needle part right here, because now we're actually having 12 threads, right? By the tail, like you got 6 strands here and 6 strands here, so when you pull it through the thread, you're trying to pull 12 strands through, so that's a lot. That's a lot to pull through here, so each stitch feels like you're really pulling, and that's not as fun. So I do like splitting the thread. But, you know, if you want a super fat line, then you just deal with it, having to pull it through like that. Because a thick line embroidery would be pretty cute, too. All right, I need more thread here. Ooh, we are going to run out of this soon. Not tonight, but I think this is it of what I have of this color here. Oh, I got two left here. I forgot to bring home this color, so I had to go through my scraps to find this color, and I think I might actually need to bring a skein of this home. I think we might need it, yeah, especially when we do all that text, so I gotta bring some of that home. It's crazy to me that I don't have this Euro Peach color here, because this is like my favorite color. This is similar to that giant cone of floss that was behind me for a while. Always have this color around, and all of a sudden I don't. All right. Oh, Jennifer, good luck. Let us know how it goes. Zoop. Oh, I guess that's where the zoop comes from. Okay. I heard it. There it was. Oh, man. I'm going to be catching myself saying all the things now. All right. I do like that idea of a shirt with that. That's silly. All right, so we're starting up here. We've done it where we're coming up. I'm not leaving, that long raw edge. We're just coming up right away. Oh, and I got my loop here. So we're going to do our loop method of starting. I guess we'll start on this side. Here looks like a good spot. So I'm pulling like thread, like not all the way through, because I want that loop here, that folded end. All right, and go on the other side. There we go. Get my needle in that loop. This again is the loop method to starting. Oh, speaking of fuzzles, I'm getting a whole pile of black fuzzles on the back here. I wore my warmest sweater that I own today because it was cold. Ugh. I actually have a long sleeve shirt underneath this, and then my warmest sweater, and it is putting black fuzzles everywhere. Little black fuzzles. Ah, well. It's nice to be warm. I heard, like, I hope you guys in Texas are doing well. Like, I was hearing on the radio that the way your state's power works is that it's like a limited supply, and you either have to pay, like, what used to be like $50, and you have to pay like $900 or something just because of demand. Like, it's a supply and demand based system, and it's in demand now, so not everyone even has like electricity, which means heat and Wi-Fi and all that, and so that sounds crazy town. So I'm thinking of all you guys, if that's the situation that you guys are in right now. I hope it gets warmer. We're supposed to get a little bit warmer today. We actually got up 20 degrees today. We started at like -10, and by the end of the day we were at like 11 degrees, so that's a 20-degree bump. I think by Wednesday we're supposed to be in the 30s, which, crazy town. Or by Thursday, I think. Something like that. Heat wave. Oh, for real, Amy. For real. Amy says, I think Texas needs solar on all the roofs. Ugh. That would be amazing. I would love to have solar on the roof. Bit more gray here, I'm thinking, but on days that it's not gray, it'd be nice to have that option. Alright, this is kind of a straightaway, so I'm doing the bigger stitches again. You can do the stitches all at the same time. Amy says we also have wind turbines frozen, power plants down, etc. Oh yeah, I heard that some power plants were down because they didn't winterize their pipes, so the water pipes or whatever that, I don't know, that need to be working. Ugh, God, it just sounds horrible. And it's extra horrible if you haven't had that experience before of just cold weather like that. I mean, that's just the kicker on top of it all, is that not only is nothing working, but it's so cold out. Ugh. It's been sunny, though, so that's been, at least we can pretend it's summer out a little bit. State of emergency there in Memphis, says Deborah. Oh, God. Jane says there's a lot of frozen pipes in our area. Yeah, that can be scary for sure. So, wishing all of y'all the best. Sending some sparkles your way, because that's no fun. We're going to have all the blue done by the time we're finished here. That's cool. We're getting along here. So by end of day Wednesday, oh gosh, we might still be stitching this into Friday a little bit. I hope not. I'm shooting to have this done on Thursday. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll be able to finish all the rest of these squiggles, but there's going to be like 4 left. That's kind of a lot yet. Maybe we can do some of that tonight. I should have gotten that French knot as we got there. I'll get this one. Actually, maybe I'll finish this loop here, then get this X, and then back here, and then I can start this next loop right away. Well, I'll probably be out of thread before I get that far. Sylvia says it's been sunny and bitter cold. I know that. That's how it is here too. Well, we came home and we didn't have frozen pipes and we didn't have tons of water in the basement, so I thought of that as a win, because we were gone when it was like the -40 or like -20 and 40 wind chill sort of stuff here. Ugh, yuck, that's just not nice. This morning, my breath got taken out of me a little bit going outside. That's how you know it's cold, when the like air gets sucked out of your lungs. Haven't had that experience yet this year. Oh, Lisa says, sorry I'm late. I was reading up on temperature quilts. So are you by temperature quilts? So what that is in my head, I haven't seen it with a quilt though before, but is that like where you have some colors determined beforehand for each like degree it is outside? So like 80 degrees would be like, you know, a pretty orange or something, whereas -12 would be like this icy blue sort of thing. So is that kind of what you're saying? And then I don't know, doing them in stripes. I've seen it for like knitting, like an Afghan temperature Afghan, which I don't know, that always sounded like it'd be like a fun project, like a nice, that is like the definition of like a just self-care chill project, because you literally are only stitching a row every day, just a row, and then you're done, and you're like forced to be done because you have to wait till tomorrow for the next temperature, you know. That just seems like a good, like, you know what, I don't get a lot of crafting done, but I'm going to get that one row knit. That seems like a great project for that. Oh, Lisa says yes, that is how it is. So is it like the ones that you're looking at, are you doing it in like stripes? Or like, I guess I'm wondering, I haven't seen it as a quilt, so I'm wondering how you're laying out the quilt, I guess. You take the highs and lows for a day each day of the year. I just think that'd be fun. Ooh, the highs and lows. Ooh, so you'd have like 2 colors, or you'd have like a range of colors each day. I think the fun part of that would be the beginning, where you could pick out all the most beautiful yarn, and then you could know that, ooh, I'm going to be knitting with all this yarn during the year. That would be exciting. Oh, so Catherine's asking, so is a temperature quilt 365 blocks? Oh, that's interesting, because that's a lot of blocks. So Lisa, is that kind of what you're looking at? Yeah, that's a lot of blocks. And if you're doing 2, like a high and a low, so let's say those are 2 blocks, then you're twice as many. It's like over 700 blocks, like 730 or so. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, that's sounds like quite the quilt, but it would be really, it's a diary, right? It's a record of the year. It's, you know, that's would be like your 2020, that entire quilt. And I mean, that's kind of what a quilt is, really, is like a little bit of a diary, right? It's what your hands and stuff were doing for all that. It's just, I think that'd be a great project. Oh, wow. Okay, so Lisa says the one that she's looking at. Oh, this is interesting. The background is the low color, and then a circle applique for the high. Huh. That could be really beautiful. So 4-inch squares, with a circle in the middle, but 4-inch squares, so 300, so 50 would just be 20 inches, or no, that'd be 200 inches. Whoa, wait a sec. Oh no, 50 by 50 would be 250. That's really big, isn't it? Or maybe my math is wrong. 4-inch squares. I love that idea, though. I don't know if I'd want to applicate that many circles, but I love the low being the background and the high being the circle. That sounds really cool. Oh, so Amy says that Amy has another one where it's flying geese. The wings are the high. Oh, wait. Oh, interesting. So the wings are the high and low, and the center is rain or snow or sun. I like flying geese. That one I could get behind. I like it. Don't give me any more ideas. I got projects to finish. Ooh, I like jumping on new ideas like that, though. That's sounds like a fun. They both sound fun. But yeah, and then you can pick all your colors out beforehand. I just kind of like that too. It's kind of like the granny square quilt where we've already have our predetermined colors, and then we just use them as they come. Oh, I was gonna do these other. I got yammering and then I forgot what I was doing. I was gonna do these other, this cross stitch and this French knot and stuff, but I'll just get them as I do these other bits. Oh, I gotta bring this guy to the back yet. Oh yeah, Amy just said, don't forget my French knot. I totally already forgot. Ooh, Jill has another idea. You can do half square triangles, one half the high and the other the low. Gosh, that sounds just like it would be fun too. I love it because it'll have this like ombre effect because, you know, in the summer, you know, the high might be 80 and the low might be like 70, right? So those might be, you know, different colors of orange still. There's not going to be any blue, but there's going to be a little variation there. And so you'll always have just this kind of little variation over it. Oh, I'm going to have to start Googling all those temperature quilts too. Interesting. So I haven't seen, that's neat. I haven't seen it in quilt format yet. I've seen that in the knitting world. Definitely going to look that up. Okay, there we go. So we're tucking in that end again versus the raw edge. We'll weave in right here. Just weaving in this tiny little spot. These threads are thick. I don't want to go through easily. There we are. Good enough. Oh, I suppose we're done with the blue. I was saving all these littler blue bits for smaller sections, but we don't have any. That's it for the blue. Oh, it is looking cute. So we have a little time left. Let's get another orange bit going. You know what? I might just, for the rest of the evening here, maybe I'll just use up another thing of floss. I might just start these letters quick, kind of work my way this way a little, and we'll pick up this couching again tomorrow. Just get a little start on these letters just to change it up. Change it up. So we'll do this for another 5 minutes or so, pick up where we left off tomorrow, and then do some more couching. Oh, Jill. Exactly. Jill said for the temperature quilt, it would have interesting colors for here this week because last night it was -30 and next week we're going to have a high of almost 60. It's crazy town right now, isn't it? It'd be neat to see that. Like, it'd be a curious quilt at the end of the year to see what it's going to end up as. Lisa says the prettiest fuzzle I've seen yet. That's nice. All right, so I got my, I'm going to do that loop method again, and we are just going to kind of crank through this. I'm going to start maybe right here, because I'll finish in a spot where I can jump over to this U. Let's start on this curve. It's kind of a little curve. I think we'll do it like a little pointy end. All right, let's put our needle through our loop there, pull that tight, and we're good to go. So kind of a lot of surface area to cover on this text too. I just like the idea of this kind of bubble text. But it's like we're stitching the letters twice, like the inside and the outside. It'll feel good to get a little start on it tonight. Break up the different tasks. And I suppose we'll make this 2 stitches. I was going to make that 1 big stitch, but yeah, I don't know why I'm making my stitches so small here. I think it's, I do know exactly why I made my stitches so small, because I've been used to making these itty bitty baby stitches all night, so I'm in the baby stitches mode, but we're gonna go against that right now for the sake of getting this done. So my type is going to have a little bit more variety of stitch sizes in it, but that's okay. Okay, I'm feeling good about getting at least a letter done in here. Yeah, I think we'll do this letter and then call it a night, and then tomorrow I'll just go until this thread is done, so maybe we'll get the U done, or the U close to done, and then I think we'll work on trying to finish up the rest of our little fuzzles here. Then Thursday we'll finish up the type, finish up the whole thing, I'm hoping on Thursday actually, and then we can do some other types of couching, or not other types, but couch other things on Friday. Like I'll get that wire out, like the silver and gold and these other weird wires that I have in my embroidery stash that I've never used, and I don't know, we'll couch some of those down. I don't know what we'll make out of it, and I don't know if they'll be able to bend really, but we can do like some pretty lines. That'd actually be really pretty for like a notebook cover or something. Ooh, now that's sounding like a fun idea. Might have to do that. But yeah, so I'm hoping Friday can be all about that. So I'm just doing a back stitch here. Nothing too fancy. Has a little bit of a curved edge here, so we're gonna a curved point, so I'm gonna go at a little bit of an angle to suggest that. And we're gonna do these in 2 big stitches. Then I'm gonna go a forward stitch. All right, and I think I'll just come up in the U and we will call it a day. right at the start of this U, and I think I'll stick my needle minder actually on my embroidery here. And we'll plop our needle there for the night so I don't lose it. And there we go. Here is the fuzzles so far. A little F in there, and we have all of our blue done. So let's see, what's the rest? Okay, so this guy is going to be gray. This guy's yellow, and then gray. This little W is gray, and then this little S guy is yellow again. And then, you know, all the dots and X's are the orange. So cool. It is coming along. It is looking like a champagne bottle. Champagne logo. I'm liking it. All right, you guys. Okay, so here we are. Coming along, I think. I'm liking this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this after, but I like it. Make it into something. So for fun. So thank you guys for joining me again here tonight. This is from our bundle. This is our embroidery of the month. We have that one, and then the Scrappy. Fuzzles everywhere here. The Scrappy one as well. If Fuzzles isn't to your liking, Scrappy might be a better word for you. But yeah, so we'll be working on this the next 2 days here, or until the end of the week. And it's our free week next week, so I think we'll, like what we discussed, I think we'll probably work on the Aurifil blocks a little bit more. That'll be fun. I think we can get through a pile of those. That'll feel like we did something, like we got something accomplished. So great. Thanks again, you guys. Be sure to like and follow. I do appreciate that. And check out the Penguin and Fish Crafters group if you want to hang out with the lovely people over there. And let's look at that list. Let's see what that vocabulary list over there is looking like. I'll have to peek this evening. So awesome. Thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.